Well, you know, that's silly.
All right. In the interest of time, it's 7 o'clock. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome. Thank you so much for taking some time this morning to get updated on kind of where we are at from an East Castle perspective. We have myself, Jen, Ashley, and Lindsay that will be just presenting on some topics. We should be able to get you out of here before the hour is up for sure. But in the meantime, if there's any questions, as always, I want to hear them. Let me know, raise a hand, or shout them out. So, as always, want to provide an update from an occupancy standpoint. You know that occupancy is our revenue driver. We know that revenue pays for the expenses to keep the lights on, the expenses to pay the bills, right? Including you and me. So, how did we do? Well, this year, we had our best sales total ever. So that is 17 sales. Give yourselves a round of applause. It takes every single one of you, because every single department plays into this. Of course, Anna, Heidi, and Fern are responsible for leading the charge, but they know they can't get to this 17 number without the support of all of you. Even with 17 sales, we still were slightly below occupancy from an independent living. Unfortunately, we experienced a lot of attrition this year, and of course attrition is for those independent living residents that may have transitioned into assisted living or skilled nursing, or again, gone on. So we look for this number to increase in October as we start our new budget year. Assisted living, this was our strongest revenue source compared to budget. As it averaged above occupancy for the year. So if you work in assisted living, you know how many individuals you were caring for on a regular basis. And so this number here is representative of that. The member support neighborhood, we had a little dip this year. And so we're working through some things there, but at the same time, we know the care that we're providing there is strong, and we look for that number to come back up here in the near future. The health center, roughly just above 27, slightly below budget. Again, this is not for lack of effort by any stretch of the imagination. If you've worked in the health center or you've been a part of that health center team, you know how many admissions, how many discharges. It's really being driven by payer source. And so this number does fluctuate. We can be at 35 and then the next week be at 25 just based on payer sources. So again, credit to the health center team for even achieving that number in this type of market. So overall, yes, we missed revenue and we missed the budget on the revenue side. However, I know that the team that's here, I know the efforts that you've put through the entire year are very, very extraordinary. And I look forward to the next year and achieving our budgeted sales and occupancy goals. Questions? All right. COVID-19 update. Ashley and Lindsay are going to touch a little bit more on this. Again, just a reminder, vaccinations are required by 10-6. So in order to continue working at East Castle Place, you must be vaccinated. It is for the protection of you and those that you serve. It is a federal guideline as well. So Kim just put out schedules for the health center, assisted living, memory support, as well as the kitchen. You will see that if you are not vaccinated as of 10-6, your name is not on that schedule. So again, if you have questions, if you have concerns about the COVID-19 vaccine, please talk with a peer, with myself, Lindsay, Jen, Ashley, to kind of walk through the reasons why. Of course, we are offering the medical and religious exemptions, but again, it's so important. Unfortunately, again, it kind of hit really close to home recently, as tomorrow, I actually have to go to a funeral. My wife's aunt passed away from COVID-19. She was unvaccinated. So again, I know everybody has those personal stories, and I know it hits everybody differently, and I know we've been going through it for the last 18 months, but it really just hit pretty close to home recently. Extraordinary impressions. You know that I always talk about extraordinary impressions. The accountability piece, right, is what I want to focus on today. According to Webster's Dictionary, accountability is an obligation or willingness to accept responsibility or to account for one's actions. Again, accountability, where does it start? It starts with me, right? If I'm not holding myself accountable, it's really tough to hold somebody else accountable, right? However, we all have our fair share and our duty to hold each other accountable. That's what's going to make us stronger as a team. That's what's going to make us stronger as we continue to care and provide service for our residents. Also, we need to remember that accountability does not mean you throw somebody else underneath the bus, right? You all have heard that term. And when we hold somebody accountable, we don't do it in front of somebody necessarily, or we don't say, oh, you definitely did not do that, I did that, and put ourselves on that pedestal. That doesn't look good. Maybe you think it looks good for you, but trust me, in the long run, it really doesn't. So if you want to if you're holding each other accountable, as you should be, pull them aside and have a private conversation and say, hey, you know, when you came in late, it actually affected how we got the day going. And so I really want you to be able to come into work on time so that we can get through this together as a team. So really, accountability, it's part of the extraordinary impressions. Again, we have to be able to be comfortable holding each other accountable, but if we're not holding ourselves accountable, it's really, really tough to talk to somebody else and say, hey, you need to be better as well. So again, be a part of the reason why we hold each other accountable, and it does take all of us. Questions? You all know I enjoy sports. Coach K, not my favorite coach, but he's done a few things. He's the most winningest coach in college basketball. It's kind of a quote that kind of stuck with me as part of accountability. In putting together your standards, remember that it is essential to involve your entire team. Standards are not rules issued by the boss. They are a collective identity. Remember, standards are the things that you do all the time and the things for which you hold one another accountable for. Again, Coach K used that. Obviously, Duke basketball has had a run. They've won a few games here and there along with Coach. And so, again, just something that I think sums it up pretty nicely. All right. Unfortunately, this slide is still on there from last time, parking lot security. I don't like talking about this. I see Isaiah, I see Garland, you know, from a security standpoint, and I know each of us have heard about it. In full transparency, I hate it. Theft and break-ins are up over 224% on the east side of Milwaukee and Shorewood. It is ridiculous. The criminals, the idiots, whatever you want to call them, I don't get it, but they're looking for the quick, easy get. So what have we done? Obviously, we've been working with the Milwaukee Police Department. We do have some of the best video cameras in the city. They keep coming to us for, you know, that video content. Fortunately, that's actually led to being able to indict some of these individuals just based on the video evidence that we've been able to share with them. But what I want you to know is that we're not stopping there. We've had a gate actually on order since July. Unfortunately, due to materials as well as just different contracting and issues, the gate continues to be delayed. We're looking to have the gate by early November. You'll get more information about how that gate's going to impact you from getting into the Bradford Terrace parking lot and out. But know that that is one area that I think will hinder, because again, we've seen every single time somebody's tried to steal something or a car, they're coming in a car. They're not coming in off the street, so to speak. So a gate should hinder that a little bit, make it a little harder. Because again, these criminals are looking for anything that they can do within 3 to 5 minutes. It's about the time they're spending on the parking lots. Again, I hate that I'm having to share this with you. Your safety, your security is of utmost importance. So again, please, again, lock your doors. Remove all the valuable things out of your car. Generally, they're rummaging for valuable items. And then just be observant, even outside of East Castle Place. All right? Questions? Sorry that I have to keep sharing this with you. Hopefully in January when we meet next time, this will be a thing of the past. I also know in wintertime it's not as prevalent, but nonetheless. All right. How many of you have heard of the renovation and expansion plans that we're doing here at East Castle Place? All right. Want to provide just kind of an update of where we are, and much more to come on this, but have some exciting things to share with you. So again, just as a review, we're adding 30 entrance fee apartments. That'll be the entire water tower building. We're moving our assisted living over to Bradford Terrace on 1 and 2. We're adding another floor of CBRF, and don't think of CBRF as memory care. Think of that as an additional level of care above RCAC that we're able to provide. Then we're downsizing the skilled nursing to 20 beds. that will allow for healthcare all to be in one building, as well as make us more efficient from a labor perspective. The construction tentatively is set to begin in April of 2022. Again, there may be some renovate or some demolition that's done ahead of that, but again, right now the full on-site with trucks and trailers and things of that nature, that will all start in April 2022. It's going to begin at Bradford Terrace on 1 and 2, as well as the common areas. The water tower apartments and the rest of the common areas will be renovated after Bradford's completed. And again, the phasing is still in the initial phases. But again, the timeline for construction, start to finish, is 14 to 16 months. So as you know, this is our campus. I'm sure it looks familiar for you all, right? Really want to hit on just the common areas, all right? So again, you're walking into the front door. The front lobby gets a full renovation. The fireplace room turns into the library. We have the mail room here, and then that library and club room turns into what we'll have as a permanent pub bar area. We had a fantastic Oktoberfest event yesterday. It was very, very well attended. Cooper was handing out some of those drinks, and we know that residents are enjoying that. They enjoy that social aspect. And so we want to add that as an amenity moving forward. Also, we're moving the general store from the second floor down to the first floor. Then we're opening up where our current bistro is. We're going to make that more of an open type concept with a counter. And so our food and beverage staff will provide kind of, instead of going in and out of doors, provided that right on that bistro counter. We're also opening up the dining room slightly. We're going to be adding a second private dining room. And then Lindsay Hall really doesn't get too much work. It gets carpet and paint, things of that nature, probably some new technology. But we're not expanding Lindsay Hall or anything of that nature. The last piece I'm really excited about, and hopefully you are too, is if you've gone and you've had a cart, right? And you needed to get up just a half floor. You know there's 2 steps, right? From the floor to the ground floor of the store. We're going to be adding a ramp that will alleviate the need to utilize the stairs as well as the elevator to get up that half flight of stairs. I'm looking at a couple maintenance. Mark, I'm sure that you probably waited at that elevator for way too long just to get up that half floor. So again, hopefully that will help the efficiencies and effectiveness of youth, but it also will help the flow of the residents to get to the fitness center, for instance. It'll help them not have to rely upon that elevator just to get up that half floor. So again, this is another piece that we're pretty excited about. This entire renovation is to make us obviously even more elegant and beautiful than we already are, but also to make you and the residents more effective and efficient. That is the goal for this project. So now what I'm going to show you is some concept boards, right? So these are concepts that our designer, interior designer, RDG, has come up with. And so we're going to start right there in the lobby. This front desk that we currently have will get completely renovated. We're looking at making it more efficient for the likes of Famata, Lila, Cooper, for anybody that's working that front desk area. Making it more efficient. So Teresa and Lila and myself sat down with RDG, actually Teresa and I, sat down with RDG to kind of walk through some of those concepts. Then the fireplace room, again, gets turned into the library. Be renovating that whole space, adding bookshelves so that we have area for the number of books we have. Then the upstairs railing kind of gets a redo as well. We'll be adding second floor bookshelves, kind of a reading area to that second floor above the lobby as well. So again, just a lot of updating. We're not going to the contemporary, modern type feel that you may find in the hotels, right? We're going for what they call today's traditional. It's keeping that elegance, it's respecting the past, and looking towards the future. The tile that is on the first floor. If we have anybody from the food and beverage area, Angelo, as you take those carts across the tile, it's a little loud, right? We're looking at replacing that tile to more of a hard surface that will not be as loud. Also replacing some of those ceiling tiles to to help with some of that noise that we have in the lobby area to make it more efficient for obviously those that are on the phones at the front desk, but also as residents and visitors are coming in, and we're providing that service. So again, just all in the efforts to A, update, and B, that elegant, beautiful building that we are, create that first impression that we talked about. We only get one opportunity to do, but also something that you can say, you know what, I've arrived, and it's at East Castle. This is kind of the bistro concept, as well as the dining room. So the dining room right now is beautiful. We're going to open that up slightly, but we're still going to allow for some screening, so it'll still kind of close that off and be a little bit more cozy, so to speak. There's some ceiling detail that we'll be able to do as well to help the acoustics in the dining room. That's one piece that the residents, in talking with them, have said we need to try to correct. And so there's some new technology and different types of materials that we are going to utilize. This is kind of that bistro type look that we're after. So again, more of that open counter type top feel, that diner feel, and that's where the continental breakfast will be. That's where the coffees will be. This is a private dining room concept. Again, we're not putting in a bed in the private dining room. However, I'm sure some of the residents after last night's Oktoberfest dinner may have wanted a bed in the private dining room. But again, just looking at more of those floral patterns, some of those more warmer concepts to brighten up that space. The other piece, there will be casters on the front of the chairs for the residents in the independent living dining room. That's a huge request that they've had. So again, then this is a really cool area that we have the opportunity to really make a signature component of our campus, and that is that bar bistro area. So looking at that bold, rich colors, where in the morning it's kind of that coffee area, kind of, we'll call it that gossip type corner that the bistro always was, right? That the residents can grab their cup of coffee, talk about last night, talk about the news, etc., etc. Then the afternoon, maybe that turns into where we have lunch, because again, opening up the entire dining room for 10 to 15 people sometimes doesn't make sense, so maybe we can serve lunch out of here. Then they're playing cards in the afternoon, and then it turns into social hour around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock before dinner. And again, this is where they'll be able to have a full service bar. We'll have some beers and sodas, things of that nature. And again, just a really unique kind of signature space for us. So again, all of this is something that we've worked with residents on, different focus groups on, as well as different staff members. This project has to be for you as well. This is not just for the residents. And so when we're talking about the employee centers and things of that nature, these also will get remodeled. And so I'm excited for some of the ideas that have already come up. But again, that's where I think I'll probably be tasking Jen to come up with kind of a focus group for what you as employees want to make this a space, a destination where you can recharge. Do we have charging stations for the cell phone? Making sure the Wi-Fi is there. Do we bring in some more comfortable furniture so that you can really just kind of relax and unwind? Is it a space where if you're at UWM and you don't want to go to the library, you can come here on your off hours and know that you have a space that's comfortable and that you can grab a soda at? So again, the functionality of this project is a key, as well as the elegance that we want to continue to have. So again, we're in the priority program. We currently have over 30 individuals that have given us deposits that are saying, hey, I'm interested. In late November, early December, Anna and the team will be going into what we call conversions, where we will be asking for a 10% deposit on a future apartment. And so that's really the next big step for us. We're very excited about that. And so that process will take us through the end of the year. Any questions on what I just showed you? A little excited? I know it's early. All right, one thing that I do want to share with you that will be happening more in the now. We are going to be renovating the marketing offices, and we're actually going to be adding a marketing office. So the marketing offices are going to be renovated in mid-November. C.G. Schmidt is going to be doing that renovation. So you all know where the marketing office is currently, right? As you look at the front desk, the left-hand side, there's that marketing office. The meditation room is another space that we're going to utilize for sales and marketing. Now that's going to be, we're going to move the meditation room up to the second floor across from the salon and general store. because in talking with the residents and talking with Pastor, it's a little loud on that first floor as you're trying to meditate, right? And to kind of have some of those private, more intimate conversations. And so in talking with Pastor and talking with some residents, they felt that was a really good solve. And so I talked with Pastor earlier on Monday or Tuesday, and said we're targeting that move to happen around November 1st. So I asked him to get together with a couple of residents and pull in who he feels appropriate, and then we'll move furniture and make that meditation room a beautiful space up on the second floor. So again, this renovation will really kind of begin to show us and give us a glimpse into what the future of East Castle Place will look like, as the look and feel of those office spaces are really going to kind of set the tone, so to speak, for what we're selling and what we will be. Any questions? All right, 2 more items. Resident satisfaction survey, it went out, it's been collected, we're waiting on the results. So again, the results will be shared in full with you in January at the next full all-staff meeting, but each of your directors will also have that information. My guess is probably by October, at the latest November, and they'll be able to share how you have become done as a department since 2 years ago. This 2019 was the last time we did a resident satisfaction survey. Again, we had over 95% of our residents complete this, which is incredible. And so again, these results are going to be shared at the January meeting, but I'm sure that your directors and your teams will share them ahead of that. And lastly, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for everything you've done over the last really year plus. The work that you do is absolutely incredible. The impact that you make on the residents and each other is not unnoticed. So again, keep it up. I know that sometimes things get tough. I know that we've run lean before, but know your efforts, know the work that you do day in and day out does not go unnoticed. And I appreciate each and every one of you for the jobs that you do. It's incredible. So keep it up and thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Jen.
All right, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Ooh, you guys sound a little more awake. I love it. I was going to say. All right, well, thank you guys for coming. I know it's early in the morning, but it is very important for you guys to kind of get in front of and hear this, the messages that we have for you guys. So thank you guys for attending. Always like to start off with all of our new hires. This last group, this last 3 months, we had almost 30 new hires that came through. Anyone a new hire in the last 3 months in here today? Woo, yeah. Joe. So, like I always say, please just make sure as you're seeing any new hires coming through, you see those new faces, make sure you're saying hi. Take that time to get to know them. Make sure that they feel part of our ECP family, because that's what we are here. So you guys know what it's like to be a new hire. You know what it's like to be in these halls and be like, wait, how do I get to contemporary? So if you see that lost look person, like help them out, bring them down here, kind of grab that lunch buddy, all of that, to everything that we can do to make everyone feel very welcome here. Some HR updates. So hot off the press from yesterday, we are going to be doing a staffing employee Facebook campaign. So we have a couple hiring needs. Right, Mia, you know. Yeah. So we have a couple hiring needs. You guys know that we've been doing sign-on bonuses and referral bonuses. We want to push that further out to our employee group. So the best type of source and referral that I would love to always see is employees. You guys know what it's like to work here every single day, day in and day out. So if you guys are saying, yes, I think you should come work here, that's the best source of referral that we're looking for. So starting the first week of October, first week of November, first week of December, our sales and marketing team is going to be sending out a Facebook post that's going to say hiring now, all this great stuff about East Castle Place. I am asking all of you guys to become friends with East Castle Place, because why not? We already work here. And then if you can like, comment, and share that post. Every time that you like, comment, or share that post at one time in October, you'll get 3 entries if you do all 3 of those things. And then again in November, and then again in December. So you have 9 different entries that you can be put in. All you have to do once again is like the post, comment on the post about why you love working here, and then share it to your family or your friends. The last week of December, we'll pull 5 different names from all of those entries and have some great gift cards and prizes to give away to you guys. So once again, I just think the best way possible is to hear from our employees. So another great campaign that we could do for that. Benefits are effective tomorrow. Tomorrow's October already, so that's crazy. So we switched from Anthem to United Healthcare. I have only heard positive things from all the employees thus far. My biggest piece of advice to you is just check to make sure that your medical providers are in network. So ideally moving from Anthem to United Healthcare, they're two large networks that shouldn't be an issue, but please do not assume. So please make sure you're checking in and making sure that your providers are in network. Medical cards should be getting delivered to your houses tomorrow. If not, you can come find myself or Mia. We do have temporary cards if you need it for that appointment you maybe have in week 1 of October. But if the cards are not to you guys by tomorrow, I would definitely say Monday, Tuesday at the very latest. And then the last thing, or actually one more thing. If you enrolled in a flexible spending account, an FSA, or an HSA, a health savings account, those deductions do not start until your January paycheck, because that runs an actual January 1st calendar year. So if you enrolled in that, your paychecks will not see those deductions until the January paycheck. The next big thing I want to kind of share with you guys is we have a new Employee Assistance Program, or EAP program, that we will be launching tomorrow. I'm very excited for this because the old program that we had was just kind of your bare bones type of thing. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of an EAP. Ooh, raise your hand if you've ever used an EAP. Ooh, I love it. So the most common things that you're going to hear about is always, I'm using it for counseling. So may that be marital support, mental health, grievance, financial, whatever that may be. You will get 5 free sessions in a calendar year that starts October 1st until September 30th. That also goes for your spouses. And your children also are able to use those 5 free sessions as well, because it's not just us. So this program is available for everyone. And it also has more things than just that. You can get a will. So as I was doing benefits with someone else, she's a single mom. She has a minor, and she wants to make sure that all of her money from her beneficiary goes to her minor. And I was like, well, that's why you want to have a will, because you want to make sure that that money goes to that individual and not the person that's a guardian that potentially takes that money from them. So that's why having that will, and you can get a free basic will through our EAP then too. So Tyler's going to show, I have a short 3-minute video that's just going to kind of walk through that real quick with you guys.
Be stressful, whether it's personal, family, or work challenges. This is why your organization offers the services of All One Health and its family and assistance programs to you and your household members. The program is a confidential, free benefit that offers short-term counseling as well as information and resources on emotional, financial, legal, elder care, child care, family, and work-life issues. We understand that life is busy. Our personal assistant acts as a concierge service to help with travel, entertainment, household errands, and service professionals. Our staff can help you to address personal challenges, support positive change, and improve your well-being. We can also assist you in addressing the complexities of life's and everyday issues, such as relationship problems, stress, anxiety, trauma, grief, and loss. Do you have work-related stressors? We can offer ideas for conflict resolution, managing time, and setting goals. Our services can help with family and home life challenges or issues with substance abuse or work-life balance. If legal or financial difficulties are causing you concern, the program can provide information and resources on everything from budgeting, credit card debt, and taxes to family law and real estate transactions. Sometimes it's hard to define what a problem may be, but if you're feeling angry, lonely, depressed, or just plain stuck, you can call us for help. You can access this benefit by calling your assistance program's toll-free number 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All phone calls are answered by our friendly and professional staff who will listen carefully and locate the best resources for you. From a counselor in your community to a legal or financial expert to caregiving information. Our member portal, MyLifeExpert.com, gives you access to thousands of articles, webinars, calculators, videos, assessments, and interactive tools focused on health and wellness, family, aging, education, and legal financial. You will need your organization's access code to set up your account. My Life Expert is available on your computer and mobile device. Remember, this benefit is confidential and free to you and your immediate family members. Call our toll-free number whenever you need assistance, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No issue is too big or too small. We're here to help.
All right, so that's our short video. A little bit about it. I'll share 2 more examples too. So if you need a lawyer, because sometimes that happens, right? Thank you for serving. You can reach out to them, and if you'll get 30 minutes free to speak to a lawyer. Sometimes that's just it. Sometimes you just need to be able to talk and ask those questions. If you end up deciding, hey, I really like this lawyer and I want to move forward with them, you get 25% off of their services. 25% off of a lawyer is very, very nice. And the other new thing that they just added to the EAP program is vacation planning. Okay. So I'm looking at going to the Redwoods in potentially next year. I have never been there. I don't know anything about that. I can reach out to the EAP and say, I'm looking to go to the Redwoods from this month or this month. Can you help me? And they will say, yes, here are places you can stay. Here are things that you can do. Okay, great. So a lot of great different things. Hi, Hunter. A lot of different things that you can use the EAP for. As Tyler gets us back up from Hunter saying hi to us, this is Tyler's son, if you guys don't know. He turns 1 on Saturday. The next thing I have for you guys is just our employee engagement event. So the first thing first is just, if you want to be a part of our committee, right now the committee is only a couple of us. I would love to have some more representation, especially from all different departments, to see what times work best for you guys, what events work best for you guys. So please make sure if you have ideas, come find myself, come find Mia, come find Leslie, come find Fern over in marketing then too. So starting in October, see, you got it. There we go. So these are some of the most recent pictures from the last quarter. So this is from the Edelweiss boat tour that the residents and some of the employees went on. This is from our Alzheimer's walk with all of our different employees and residents that attended the event. So always take a look for these fun things. I mean, even my kids came, you know, so it's so much fun to kind of get some family part in there too if possible. And then just some of our different employee engagement events over the last couple months that we've done. So it's always great to see you guys come down and participate and be a part of that. So the next thing we have for you guys next week, Tuesday, is a soup day. We're going to have vegetable soup, chili, and baked potato soup for Alzheimer's. So come to the club room 11:30 to 12:30 and 2:30 to 3:30. And like I always say, if you're not here on that day, you are always free to come in for any of those events that we have. Then the next big thing, if you guys were here last year, we always do a pumpkin contest with all of our different departments. You are talking to the reigning champion right here. So just saying, I am a little bit competitive and I don't want to lose my win from last year. So bring your A game. But your directors will be picking up the pumpkins on Friday, October 15th. You'll have that full next week and then that following Monday and Tuesday. And then Tuesday, the 26th by 10 a.m., all of the pumpkins will be out on display so that our residents can then vote Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday until noon. It's a great time also just to see the residents be a part of everything. They had so much fun last year. I think we had almost like 200 entries that were put in. The residents will vote for their top 3 pumpkins then. So great event. So make sure that you guys start thinking about what you guys want to do. Dean and I have already locked in, so good. And then Friday, October 29th, we also will have a Halloween costume spirit day. Please wear an HR appropriate costume. If you have to ask me if it's an HR appropriate costume, the answer is no. Okay, so please make sure you're wearing something that is appropriate. And then the last thing I have for you guys is about our wellness. So Willie in the back, he headed up the healthy selfies. So please make sure you guys are always taking a look on the HR blue board in the main time clock hallway. By the time clock, we always have different postings up there. The healthy selfies, it was so easy. I went on a, okay, I'm gonna be a super super dork right now. I play Pokemon Go, and I'm out there playing Pokemon Go with my kids, taking a picture, going, hey! And there's a Pokemon in the picture with me. So that's all you had to do was just take a selfie and then send that picture to Willie. And then we had put all those entries in, and then we had Sydney from the front desk, and then Jerry, one of our activity coordinators, they won $50 gift cards for sending in a selfie. And it's just getting out and getting active. So different things like that, always take advantage of that we are always hosting. The next things right now, we're doing our wellness activities. So we have fitness walks on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. and that's headed up by Director Laura of Community Life. And then Thursdays, that is headed up by myself, Mia and Ashley at noon on Thursday. So it's amazing just getting outside and just walking around and getting that fresh air. Just makes you feel a little bit more refreshed and ready to go. Thought I saw Marcia. There she is. She's become a little bit of our Thursday walking buddy too. So come join the fun. Yesterday also we started doing on Wednesdays at 12:30 yoga and meditation. Said it right today. So it was amazing. I have never done yoga before, and I was doing some stretches that I didn't even think I could do. So just a great way of, once again, things that she taught us that I could do at my house, and I could do with my kids. So another great wellness activity, and then we're going to be starting up Stretch and Tone on Wednesdays at 3:30. So a lot of different ways. It's also a great way to get to know different employees as well. So a lot of different things to be looking at. If you have questions, Willie in the back will be your go-to person when it comes to those wellness questions then. And then these are some of our wellness selfies, so just some fun pictures. Look, Willie's even cutting the grass over there. See? So easy. All right, do you guys have any questions for me at this point in time? All right, Miss Lindsay's going to take over the next part and do Ashley's and hers. So here she goes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Look at that. Jen's right. You guys are a lively bunch. Usually it's the classic, like you gotta say it again, but no, we got all the lights on. Everyone's had their coffee. We're dialed in for a Thursday. Cool. So again, I'm Lindsay. I know all of you, which is great. Not Ashley, but Ashley got tied up with an employee. We're going to talk about COVID today, per usual, and then heartfelt connections, and then flu, and more COVID vaccines. But first and foremost, COVID, PPE, which is obviously all the personal protective equipment that we wear, we use, and there's always changes. You know, I think it's once a week we get new guidance from the state or from a federal level, and so on. So we wanted to clarify just to make sure everyone is on the same page with what is required on this day, September 30th. So we are an all-mask facility. That being said, all mask means all surgical masks. So the cloth ones that we wear, those are great coming in, getting to your floor, but by the time you punch in, you should have a surgical mask on. If you need a surgical mask, you come see me, the front desk. Any supervisor, pretty much anyone with an office should have masks. So everyone should be in a surgical mask. And then we are currently not in outbreak, which is awesome. And that determination is going to change pending our next COVID positive. So in a conversation with the state last week, apparently we were going above the beck and call, which isn't a bad thing, but just essentially creates a harder, more stressful situation, not only for our residents, but for staff when we are in full facility outbreak or full unit outbreak. It will be more comprehensive with contact tracing. So if I test positive for COVID, it's not going to mean the entire health center, the entire kitchen, water tower where I go, CBRF, that everywhere is going to be an outbreak. It will mean that in the past 7 days, whoever I have had direct exposure to, unmasked for more than 15 minutes, people I've interacted with, will be part of that outbreak testing. So if I hadn't seen Mia in 2 weeks, she would not be involved in that, or same with Tyler if I hadn't seen him, and so on. So it's a lot more comprehensive. Roxanne leads this charge. She's going to be asking a lot of questions, so it'll be, you know, oh, Brianna, who did you work with? I know it's hard to think back, but jog your memory, mental note moving forward, keep in mind who you've all interacted with. Just because those people will then be in the pool for the twice a week testing. Does that make sense? So that it won't be a full outbreak, unless obviously there's more than one, up to 3. So Milwaukee County, on that note, is a high transmission county. So what does that mean? That means high transmission rate means our positivity rate is still pretty high, but we are still having thousands of people go get tested daily in Milwaukee County. So they take that average of not only positives, but just general public going to get tested thinking they may have COVID, and then they average that out. So that means we're in the red, and I anticipate we'll be in the red for quite some time, because we're in the upper, I think like 60%. So a lot of people are still going to get COVID testing. Obviously, they're not all turning up positive, but it's so accessible to get COVID tested now that we anticipate that will be ongoing for the foreseeable future. That being said, that keeps us in twice a week testing. So testing, how many of you know where testing is? Perfect, everyone's hands should go up. Water tower entrance, twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, put on by Bright Star Staffing. This testing is from 10 to 3. They usually leave by 4, or we have a tight, usually if you show up around the 3:50, they are leaving out the door. So 10 to 3, please come get tested if you are part of that contact tracing. But let alone, you can always go get tested as part of this if you are involved at CVS, Walgreens, Walmart. They sell the rapid tests now at CVS and Walgreens. You get 2 for $23. I actually saw the CVS and Downer has them. I've purchased it before. It's the exact test that we have here at East Castle for rapid, which is interesting. So they work. They're accessible. You can get that, and that can count. Just take a picture of it. Obviously, write your name, date, and so on. So, any questions on that? So eye protection has been an age-old question as well in terms of outbreak, not outbreak, where to wear it, where not to wear it. Eye protection, which is what Audrey has on, Marlena. We have eye protection to be worn whenever you're on CBRF. So if Amada leaves the front desk and has to go up to CBRF, she needs eye protection. Due to the fact that she may come in contact within 6 feet of a resident, because our residents on 3rd floor are more out and about, they're doing activities, they're in the dining room, and so on. In the health center, you need eye protection if you are going to be interacting within 6 feet of a resident. So if I'm going to deliver water to residents' rooms or drop off a memo, I need eye protection. But if Jen's just coming up to visit me, she does not need eye protection, and that is per the state. So. And that is really because having, what the state always says, sometimes less is more. Because if I'm not properly cleaning my eye protection, I'm not changing it, I'm touching this, then I'm touching that. It's like when you touch your eye and then all of a sudden you're touching surfaces, touch back on your eye. It can create more harm than good. So that's why we've modified with the state our eye protection requirements.
Lindsay, what about water tower?
Water tower does not need to be an eye protection. You are not required to wear that at this time. That being said, that could change with state guidance, but at this time, CBRF and Health Center. Yes?
Would it be working from the health center to
If you are floating,
yeah.
you don't need to wear it. That being said, if it's on your head and you would like to wear it and you are cleaning it appropriately in between rooms and washing your hands before and after, that is completely fine. That's absolutely appropriate. But everyone needs to be in mask, fully pulled up over your nose. I know sometimes, we get a little lax all of a sudden, and then you see someone walk by and we pull it up. Technically monkeying around with your mask like that reduces the efficacy of it, so then you should change it. So just keep it up over your nose, pinch it down, get one that has a little metal in between if it doesn't like staying up over your nose and so on. All right, COVID call-in. This hasn't changed too much. Do we all know how to call in if you are symptomatic? Not only do you call your supervisor, but you call Roxanne Farr. Does everyone know who Roxanne is for the most part? Roxanne is in the health center. She's our infection preventionist. So calling in, our symptoms have not changed. When you are sick, please call in for your shift. If it is allergies or if it's something that you have chronic migraines, please let Roxanne know that, because you can get to work a lot quicker, like same day, next day, rather than being out for a full 10 days pending or until a PCR comes back. Symptoms haven't really changed. The biggest one is excessive sneezing. That is new with the Delta variant, which is interesting. What is excessive sneezing? A lot of times in a row, perfect. So when I sneeze 2 times back to back, how many of you do that whenever you sneeze? Yeah, that's not excessive sneezing. Excessive sneezing is like, 7, 8, 9, 10, within the hour, additional, and so on. It's just nonstop. So please call in, wait for guidance. Roxanne will call you back. Weekends, the nurse manager, if Roxanne's out, will call you back and so on. And then COVID testing, again, 10 to 3. And if you are not fully vaccinated, which everyone will be, at least starting next Wednesday, you still need to be twice a week tested if you are in Bradford Terrace, CBRF. All right. Any questions on that? Okay, switching gears, Heartfelt Connections. How many of you know what Heartfelt Connections is? Ooh. Just 3 people? Or gosh, now we're getting tired. I'm boring you all. Goodness gracious. So Heartfelt Connections is our memory support program that is a signature program of LCS. So this doesn't necessarily mean that it's catered just to 3rd floor, our memory support floor. Heartfelt Connections is applicable to the community-wide, independent living, water tower residents, our rehab residents, long-term care, as well as our memory support on 3rd floor. This is a program that really involves different ways that we can communicate, because help them and just better do our positions at the community level in order for residents to feel that we are doing our best job possible, and for you to have the best tools. So Heartfelt Connections, ways to improve your communication and those personal connections. I know we talk about sales as, making those personal connections and so on, but Heartfelt Connections is a part of that. Because no matter if Joe's working with someone on a computer, we're bringing up laundry, we're providing actually direct care, we're giving directions within the community, or we're doing therapies or exercises. All of this and how we do the approach with individuals who have memory loss, hearing loss, or their ability to, perform their normal activities of daily living can all be included in Heartfelt Connections. So getting the person's eye contact and attention, looking them in the eyes when you communicate. We all probably can improve on this, even if it's not talking to a resident, is that eye contact, especially with COVID and wearing masks. Speaking slowly and clearly with step-by-step instructions. I know it's easy with someone who does have, dementia to just help them and do the task for them. Maybe you have 4 call lights going off at the same time, but really talking through the process. And so that they understand what you're going to do next. I'm going to put your jacket on, or I'm going to cut your food. Not just doing it for them because that may be taking away one step of their dignity or independence that they still have left. Be willing to repeat and rephrase. This is a big one. Don't then all of a sudden just, you can obviously say it again, slow and clear, but say it with the same affection that you said it the first time, not getting annoyed or showing, letting that sigh out that I know sometimes when we get so task-driven happens. Be sensitive to cultural and regional differences. Obviously, people who interact from the south and the north are different than Midwest, nice, we know, and so on. So be cognizant of that, getting to know the resident as a person, not just 2308 or 3401. You know, they might have been a nurse or a human resources director or an administrator, and so on. Write big and clear messages when you post them. This one is a big one. If I walk into 3rd floor and it says it's October 6th, and it's actually the 24th, you know, that's not helping anyone who is already confused be less confused necessarily. Having your name when you put CNA nurse in the health center on those whiteboards, the right date, the right time, and so on. Making sure they're clear and correct. And then using nonverbal skills with praise and encouragement. You know, really staying positive, going, you know, the little things of just sitting next to someone and talking to them. You know, activities or heartfelt connections doesn't need to be that, you know, you're doing bingo or certain activities at all times. It can be the little things. And then, again, being patient. You know, these people, we have a lot to learn from them, as we all know, and being patient and getting to know them and understanding them. So, any questions on this? All right, so vaccine mandate. We have one clinic left. It's Tuesday. And it is our last and final clinic we are offering here. That's on the 5th. The 6th, as Tyler mentioned, if you are not vaccinated, your peers are not vaccinated, they are off the schedule. That's already in place. We already have the schedules and so on. We're looking to fill those positions already. So if you want to pick a few up, talk to your scheduler. So if you would like the vaccine, please sign up in front of HR. Or if you want to go get one outside of here, we are offering the Pfizer vaccine, but I know CVS on Farwell, I looked last night, has oodles of appointments, and they are doing Moderna. So if that sways you one way or the other. But if you have questions, concerns, please see myself, Ashley, Tyler, HR. And then last but not least, if you have a religious or healthcare exemption, please see HR for the form, and we would need that filled out by your clergy or your physician. And then flu shots. How many of you have gotten your flu shot already? Perfect. Just a few left, so I can't wait to see you all in the locker room after this, where Ashley's going to get flu shots from 8 to 9:30. So this is, again, mandatory. If you get it between Tuesday through today, you will be entered in to win. Top 3 drawn will get gift cards. So please go get your flu shot today.
And Lindsay and I, we got flu shots yesterday. We are not symptomatic,
Oh, I
so you
feel
do
great.
not get sick from getting
Oh
flu
yeah,
shots.
I feel great. Get it in your dominant arm. It's like
Yes.
nothing happened. It's a little sore, but you know, you just move it around. We could probably all improve our range of motion, right? But we feel great. Everyone else is here feeling great, looking good. Excellent. All right. And last but not least, thank you for all you do. Once again, we know COVID is continuing. Hopefully in 2022 it can be an afterthought. But with you all on our team, it makes our days better. You guys do a great job. Our residents appreciate it. I appreciate it. I know everyone from a leadership standpoint does. So keep it up. Keep up the good work. Stay positive and healthy. Wash your hands.
Yeah.
Get your flu shot.
So,
Yeah, you guys.
go here.